Hello. As you can see with the speed paint today, I started the recording a bit too late and I had already finished the line work and a bit of the blocking of shades so far. Right now I'm working on the fur and I'm doing grayscale to color, which is something that I'm just experimenting with. This is the first time I managed to remember to record myself doing a digital painting, so I thought I would share it with you all. This painting is of Discord and Fluttershy from My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, and I think they are a very cute and cuddly pair. So as you can see, I sped this up a large amount because it has quite an amount of detail. This whole thing took me about 22 hours in total to finish over the span of a couple days. This fur technique that I'm using is inspired by an artist called Clockbirds. They are a big inspiration to me and I really like the way that they do fur. So I got a little bit of inspiration from them on this fur, but it's not quite as good as theirs, but I'm working on getting better. And then I'm just doing the scarf here. I wanted him to have matching scarves with Fluttershy, but I couldn't quite figure out what I was gonna do for this part. So I flipped back and forth and tried a few things. I tried adding texture by doing a bunch of bumpy circles and then added a brush that had some texture. And it looks a little bit off, but that's what I went with for now. And then we're doing his lion arm. A bit of detailing on the short fur of this lion-like hand and arm. I've never drawn a lion arm or anything like that before, but it's my attempt. And his other arm is an eagle's arm. It's kind of like, it looks like a bird's talon. So he's made of different animal parts because he is a Draconicus, which is part dragon, part equine pony. And he also he's the Lord of Chaos, so he has parts of lots of different animals, and he's very disorderly. So this leg here is some sort of reptilian or dragon leg. His body is just brown, so I decided to make it feathery like his arm. And of course his head is supposed to be kind of horse-like, but a little bit more dragon, possibly goat-ish ears. And then his long tail. His long tail is made from some sort of scaly material, so I decided that I would try out a snake type texture for his tail. And there's a pause here because I was trying to figure out what to do for the texture. So I found this snake texture on the internet, and then I masked it onto his tail and stretched it in the right shape. And I decided I would use that for his knee too because it's quite scaly as well. It looks quite nice and saved me about 10 hours of work. And then I did his horns. One is an antler and the other one is some kind of swirly dragon type horn. I'm trying to work in the details of his horns. course, the tuft of white fur on the end of his tail that matches his beard, or goatee, or whatever you call it. And then I decided against that scarf type thing, so I went with a knitted texture, and I just put it over top and stretched it to the right shape again, like I did with the snake tail. I think that looks a lot nicer than what I could have done. And then we start on Fluttershy. I placed some shades all around and kind of outlined what I wanted her to look like. And then I started adding some smaller details and began working on the texture of her hair. So I added just a bunch of different shades and values, trying to make it pop without looking too cartoonish, because I was going for a semi-realistic style with this painting, because they are very cartoonish in design originally, but I wanted it to be a little more painterly looking, I guess. So just refining and adding small details to her hair, her mane. And I like the way her hair is kind of stuffed into her scarf like that. I think it looks really cute when people wear their scarf with their hair stuck inside of it. So I thought it would be cute on Fluttershy. Then we've got her tail, her long, beautiful tail. I think this was the most fun working on the hair. I don't usually do this much detail with hair, so it was a new experience for me, and it was pretty fun. And then we start on the shading of her little sweater. Just a basic kind of cozy sweater. Then I added the same knitted texture that I used on Discord's scarf for Fluttershy's scarf as well, because of course they are matching scarves. I added some shading and detail to try and make it look natural with it. And as you can see, I'm switching back to this very basic color palette thingy every now and then. And what I did there was that I just used the fill tool and filled in all the basic shapes of these characters on the line art section, and then put it as an overlay color type thing so that I could get a basic idea of what the color will look like on top of the grayscale. But that won't be the final color, as you'll see later. And I couldn't quite figure out the ear style. That took me a little while to get the right shape. I finally got what I think is a nice ear shape. And I had to redo the hair around her ear and around her nose a little bit. I tried to add a little bit of highlight on her face and her hooves, and refined her feeties. Had to make some adjustments with the hair underneath. I'm shading her flanks. This part was a bit hard to shade because I'm not really good with light sources and stuff, but think it turned out alright. And then the wings, which I really weren't sure how to make look good, I decided to go for a more flat and cartoony style for her wings instead of an overly realistic feather style. And then I moved her position of her wing a little bit. And I did a little bit of extra darkening on some edges of Discord. Put some fur over top of his scarf. And refined his beard a little bit. And some small details. I also made his mane a little longer. And cleaned up some edges. So the painting part is pretty much finished, and now I'm just adding some colors, experimenting with what I want. This is just the layer mode is set to color instead of overlay or whatever else there is. So it basically goes right over top of the grayscale but keeps the values. So I put just a basic flat color over top, and then I cut out the background so that there was no crazy edges sticking out. And then I experimented with some weird backgrounds, but I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to do there. I was experimenting with different colors and adding a bit of shading in a couple spots of various colors on top of them. A bit of lighting sources just from anywhere. I wanted it to look warm and cozy. I put a blue tint on his beard and tail and added a couple more finishing touches to warm up the art. And I tried another background that didn't quite work. Tried a drop shadow, didn't really like it. Bubble background, it was nice, but I decided that I wanted to go for a cooler tone and have a winter scenery. So I added lots of snow, fuzzy background, some snowflakes in the foreground and the background, and of course her cutie mark, which I just blended to make a little bit more natural looking. And this final part is just finishing touches to clean up some edges and make it look finished. I'm just cleaning it all up. Then of course I put in my little Suivant Kitten logo, and we're done. So this is the final piece. The ship name is Fluttercord, Fluttershy in Discord, and they are affectionately nuzzling in the cold winter night. But they look quite warm and cozy. I hope you enjoyed this speed paint / ASMR voiceover type thingy, and I hope you like the finished product. I'll have my DeviantArt linked in the description where you can see my other art. But just a fair warning, this one is far better than all the other art I've ever done, because usually I don't spend this long on a piece. This one, like I said, took over 20 hours, and the most I've ever spent on a drawing or a digital painting had been maybe 8 hours maximum. So this was like crazy for me, but I really like how it turned out, and I'll probably attempt another painting like this in the future. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!